Hello, everybody. So instead of sitting in chat alone, we thought that we would actually spark over here, start the live stream, and if Liz can make it to a coffee shop or someplace else, then she can jump back in and we can keep on playing like normal. We're going to give her maybe 10, 15 minutes. Hopefully you can hear and see everything. Hello, hello.
Hope so.
Thank you so much, Geekly Inc. for the host, Infinity Break Gaming for the follow, Lady Tiefling, thank you for following.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate all the follows from everybody. You helped us get to affiliate before our second game. That was fantastic.
Good. I didn't know you got affiliate. That's
Yay.
Almost exclusively thanks to the cast promoting and telling people to come over. So thanks so much. Justice, appreciate it.
I'm following, baby.
So what we thought we would do for the 10 minutes, we're going to wait on Liz to come back from the snowpocalypse that she's trapped in, is do a Q&A, maybe just meet the cast. I personally want to hear what all of you are up to in your real lives while we kind of sit here and wait for chat to come up with some questions. Because you're all like famous and perfect angels, and so much cool stuff goes on around you. All of you.
Okay.
You're famous to me.
I'm also white, so.
Nobody?
No, I'll talk about what I do when I'm not in front of the camera.
Please.
All right, so I work at.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I work at a game store. I am your friendly local game store clerk. Complete with ambient NPC shop music that I play whenever I'm at work by myself. I'm also a hula hoop fitness instructor. So I do all the fun trick hoop stuff and I teach people to do that. I also, some of you, I don't know how many of y'all in chat follow me, but I just recently was given the position of community manager for D&D Adventurers League, their organized play
well
system.
Deserved.
Thank you. And I'm a freelance writer. That's also a thing. So look out for some stuff coming soon.
That freelance life.
That freelance NDA life.
Facts.
What have you been up to, CB? Anything new?
CB,
anything interesting?
Yeah, I mean, y'all know me. I'm just your run-of-the-mill bard, barding on critically. I'm
barding on critically.
Oh, I have shirts. I have things planned on them. I can't just be critical bard. I have to use that.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't just bard. You bard critically, which means you do it either the best you can or the worst you can. At least you did something more. I am a professional performer, vocalist, mostly theatrical performer, and I'm currently on a tour, so I'm tired. But yeah, as far as like my online presence, I'm doing what I do. Got some collaborations coming up. Black History Month about to be a Blackout month. People are not going to like me, but I'm literally only promoting Black people during February. I got some things also under NDA that I can't talk about.
It's the worst, isn't it?
Let's see. I have a merch store. You can go to critbard.com. And that's crit, like CRIT, bard as in my name, .com, where you can see hoodies, jackets, sweats, hats, lots of things. Like this hoodie right here. So,
yes.
And yeah, I really can't think of anything else. So I'll think of off the top of my head.
What's your tour like?
Oh, I am a children's tour performer, meaning I am part of a professional equity group, and we go around all the Midwest for the most part. We don't go to Upper Illinois, which is silly, but we go to Missouri, Illinois, and Arkansas, and we dance a lot and sing a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna show you a picture. This is me. This is what I'm doing tomorrow. You can see it. Wait,
yes.
Wow.
Yep, that's my character.
Yes.
You have so many different looks.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's what I do. I do it and I love it.
Such talent!
But-
Justice, do you have anything going on you want to talk about? Other than your incredible health and fitness goals every single day that put me to shame? I'm here eating Cheetos and you're talking about quinoa?
Excuse me, I just shoved like 5 chocolates in my mouth, so I am definitely not hitting my fitness goals lately.
Oh, sure.
A lot of dentist appointments, but other than probably because of the chocolates that I'm sitting here eating. So I'm a full-time surgical clinic manager. So I manage a surgical clinic and a referral department, and then another department for a hospital network here in Waco. It is interesting, in a sense that it's not as interesting as the other things I do. I work for Beetle and Grimm's, and we just showed some of the what's in the box for Eberron, which is pretty cool. So I can say that I wrote 2 of the bonus encounters for this box. One of them is a murder mystery on an airship, which is really cool. So they're kind of meant to take you from the first level adventure, and then give DMs stuff to do after, for 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th level. The box is super cool.
I love murder mysteries so much.
Yeah, it was challenging fitting it in the page links too. But yeah, so we're doing that, and then DM's Guild stuff. I'm on a project with Anthony Joyce. I've written with him a few times. He's an awesome dude. Yeah, probably some teasers for that soon. That's about it.
Awesome. Gabe,
I shaved my beard.
What are you up to? Anything cool you want to talk about? You're so secretive.
Well, so one thing, you can't say what NDAs are, but you can talk about how many you have currently, technically.
Ooh.
I almost have as many NDAs signed as fingers that I have. Yeah, it's crazy. But it's very exciting. And that's not counting the ones that I have other people sign for me, technically. I have, so the Goblin Dating Sim is coming out really well. I actually got...
Gabe,
yeah.
You're not looking at the chat, so I'm going to say it. Turn your volume up.
You're real quiet.
You have so much more courage than I do.
All right. I have too many friggin' mics with all this stuff.
All the mics.
I have almost as many NDAs as fingers that I have, but that's not counting the ones that I had other people do for me. The Goblin Dating Sim is coming really well together. I got the initial lines from the main cast of voice actors today, so I started putting them in, and that's going to go in the demo. I have technically about 3 supplement books for D&D coming out in like 2-3 months.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Liz.
Am I here?
Yes.
You are here.
I am cutting you in as we speak.
Yeah.
So one of the things that helped me for the NDA stuff is that I made myself a Google Drive or just like multiple folders of my stuff. And then I have either like links to a Google Drive document inside of a folder or just all of the stuff organized. And then I have this little notebook that I keep with me of just my random notes. And like at the top of the page, I'll write what it's for, and then I'll just start writing. Otherwise, I never get anything done.
It is surprisingly helpful for people kind of getting into writing things to keep some kind of pad, notebook, Google Drive, something to put your thoughts into, because it can get pretty nuts.
It's got to the point where it's like any physical notebook that I have, that's for just random thoughts that I have. And if I sit down at my computer, that's when I go into detail.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to let Liz sort out what's going on over there while I give all of you in the blessed chat, thank you all for staying with us through these difficulties. I'm going to give you a little recap of what happened last week to set the stage for what's going to be happening this week on the Little Rascals.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Little Rascals have secreted themselves aboard the Ember Rose, a 3-masted sailing vessel currently docked in the Wuhan harbor. Once the noblemen arrived, intent to set sail that very night, the party found themselves contending with a vessel crowded with Uhanian nobles and no fewer than 40 armed and experienced sailors. Thelen was mingling among the nobles, found herself face to face with the lead representative of the Pike Mercantile Company, a gnomish woman by the name of Colin, who has kept the restless Shadarkai Thelen waiting in a stalled trade agreement for nearly 9 months. As the young lord Jaram Siswell began to take a liking to Thelen, Basilisk was executing a cunningly crafted, calculated, and measured plan to murder a blind dwarf he randomly came across.
It was great.
This dwarf of Clan Brightmaker took his place, arm in arm with his wife, and infiltrated the party. Savvy had snuck aboard the ship through alternate means, mainly blackmail. She planned to skulk around in the shadows of the ship and find their quarry silently. Sadly, she found herself trapped between the amassed nobles and the single exit from the well-appointed stern of the ship. Utilizing Basilisk's naked, warforged jaunt into the recesses of the ship later in the night, she broke away from this peculiar assassin who was on his way to murder the cook. A series of events led to the body of the noble Ember Brightmaker being found cast overboard from the ship, at which point the entire vessel was locked down by armed, armored, and trained personnel set from the far-off Vasa to keep the vessel safe. Specs and Grognar kept themselves on the pulse of the ship's coming and going, exchanging words with nearly every noble aboard the vessel, causing distractions and gathering information. When opportunity presented itself, the pair of comrades slunk into the angular corridors of this ship to try and get a lead on where this jug of wine they've been sent for was located. As Savvy found her way into Nobleman Jaram's bedroom, Basilisk took the life of the cook, stole some of his clothes, changed his appearance, and offered poison to Jaram's lover and confidant, Sade Redstream. The Nessark, the nobly appointed mayor of Uhan, her cousin. As the noblewoman lay dying, a panic swept through the remaining nobles held in the bowels of the ship by an elven swordswoman at sword point. One nobleman attempting to escape had his nose crushed, 2 others had limbs hacked away, and in a mass of frightened feet and flailing arms, the nobles withdrew into the ship deeper. Specs, Basilisk, and Gragnar found themselves face to face with not only the riotous crowd of nobles, but one of Jaram Siswell's bodyguards, a peculiar young tiefling woman who floats above the deck of the ship, wearing extravagant red robes. In an effort to stop the insanity barreling towards her, she filled the entire hallway with Specs, Gragnar, Basilisk, and nobles with fire. Savvy, safely behind the heavy locked bedroom door, had abandoned her attempts to open the nobleman's safe and secure the wine when the barred window was cut open to reveal a greasy, shadowy humanoid that leered in at her, asking, "Are you my enemy?" Somewhere in Uhan, miles away from the Ember Rose, floating on a moat of earth, is a palatial manor house and a scene of death and carnage. Moments later, a thunderous detonation wakes half of the city. And that is where we start this week. Savvy.
Yep.
This individual leering at you through this dinner plate-sized hole in the wall of this ship says again, "Are you my enemy?"
Hold on. Before we actually start, I want to make sure that Liz is set. We started that. I just want to make sure that things are working for them.
They're saying things. I can't hear them.
I wanted to keep my fingers crossed and hope that it would catch up because I've been seeing it glitch the
I
whole
can
time.
hear everyone. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I hear you now.
But it's just you're very,
You can't
very.
hear me.
We
Okay.
can't. She may be on a delay as well.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. It's rough times out
Hold
there.
on. Relocating. You can hear me now.
A little bit.
You're a little bit robot-y.
You may want to just keep the video off, Liz.
I'm also going to go somewhere where I have better signal, hopefully.
And you can type because we can still if you can hear us, then you can just type whatever you hear, or your response.
That would be one way to do it for sure.
Then we'll do our best impression.
Yeah, I can hear you guys perfectly fine, and you guys are playing for me. Am I any better here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm back? Okay.
Again, you may want to cut off that video and just do audio.
Yeah, I just need to not be walking.
Hopefully it can settle in and catch back up. Savvy,
Yes.
what do you say?
I say, no, I'm not. I don't even know you.
Then do not move an eyelash, he says. And presses his face against the hole boop, in the ship.
Boop.
And then turns his head and starts to wiggle it and wiggle until the top of his head comes through the porthole, barely big enough to fit. And you see underneath his chin, his fingers slink through. And then this nubbly little noodle arm comes through after. And then the other arm. And as he's sliding like a greasy fish through this porthole in the ship, he looks around as though it's no effort at all, just some wiggling. Where is the cook? He asks.
In the kitchen, I would imagine.
Are you a sailor? He falls through the porthole and lands on the ground.
Are you
Stands
okay?
up and adjusts his pants. He is wearing no shirt. You can just see bare chest, and he looks oily, kind of sticky almost. This dark, kind of deep green skin covered in sludge with this long, black, greasy-looking hair.
I'm not a sailor. That is not a thing that I am. I've been on a boat, but not a sailor.
Then why are you here? He asks.
The reasons that don't involve the cook or the kitchen or...
Is it the safe? He asks.
It might be. Depends on what's in it. I couldn't get it open, though.
It's right about this time, Savvy, you hear from outside the door and screams.
Oh, do I see like light underneath? Like, is there a crack under the door?
Ah! Noble shriek.
If at all possible, she's going to like move further into the wall, almost like she can hear the screams, and she's like wanting to get further away from whatever's happening. She's like, hey, maybe you can teach me that trick for getting out of the porthole, because I don't want to go out there, and I no longer want to be in here.
I'll make you a deal.
Depends.
You see he's recoiled a bit from the fire as well.
Mm-hmm.
Bring me the cook's head, and I'll help you escape.
All right.
He shuffles over to the door and like puts his ear to it. Still hear flames on the other side.
I don't think it's safe to go out there.
Shh, he says, and
Yeah,
waits for you to come closer.
I am also whispering.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like he's listening intently.
Okay.
In waves.
I will mosey on over.
Gragnar, Specs, Basilisk. You see this robed mage floating at the end of the hallway, nobles rampaging back behind you, coming down, and then a wall of fire fills the entire corridor where you stand. You hear the nobles screaming and shrieking and the sound of footsteps, but none of you are burned. It's as though the flames dance around you, surrounding all three of you, and they persist. Through the sound of the fire, you hear, "You made a mistake coming here." What do you do, Specs?
Well, firstly, he's like looking at the flame. He's just, I've seen better magic tricks in my time of performing, and this is kind of cute, but he's like still recoiling from the fire because he doesn't like it. And he turns back. I mean, what does that even mean? You don't even know why we're here. We're just, I'm a sales bot to help.
Gragnar, what are you doing while Specs is spinning this yarn?
First off, is it real flame or is it an illusion?
How would you like to check?
Well, I'm quite good at Arcana, but I guess I would look for like signs of burning at the bottom of the flame, see if it's like having an effect over the wood or the area above me.
You can roll me a general Arcana check.
Okay, let's do that.
Because some illusions are very powerful.
Yes. Okay, that's a 19 plus 6, 25.
Oh yeah, real fire.
Okay, this is real fire.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to reach behind me and conjure 2 of my frosty psychic blades.
Okay.
Can I see the mage?
Through the fire, you cannot.
Wait,
it is opaque.
Is she in front of us?
She's somewhere beyond the wall.
Oh, so okay, I was confused. It sounded like you said like the fire went around us and was like and blocked us off from. But
yeah,
I see.
If you can imagine, Specs, all the way around you, 360 degrees, fire. Gragnar, the same. Basilisk, the same.
Oh, I see what you
You
mean.
are
around us,
consumed safely inside a wall of flame that fills this hallway.
God, yeah.
Basilisk, what do you do? You still have the tray. With
Yep,
the hair
I
on
start freaking out.
Ah!
Freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned.
What is your goal in freaking out?
I'm just a server, essentially.
So you're selling it? Roll me a performance check.
Wow. Performance or deception?
This would be performance. You're performing the act of being a server.
Damn it. How much is? Where is it?
I saw
How big is
now I
That's
see
a nat
screen.
20 right there.
I don't know what that is, Gabe.
It's a
Love
nat
ya.
20.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
we
right
can
here.
barely see it. It's okay.
I see
whatever.
justice.
That's fine. Ignore justice.
So what was your total?
That's a total of 23. Not bad. Also a 1 ring, but ignore that.
She says aloud so that you can hear it when you start freaking out. Be quiet. And the flames around one side of you, the side furthest away from Gragnar and Specs, disappear. You see the nobles have turned and begun to flee back the way they came. Some of them singed and this hallway burned, but the vast majority of the flames are focused around Gragnar and Specs.
I flee out of that. I'm gonna go with those nobles.
Ah! You run down the hallway.
Damn it.
I keep my tray.
Oh, Lord.
I'm
You keep your
dedicated.
tray. You run headlong into this waiting mass of nobles and Thelen. Thelen, who has drawn a rapier from beneath her dress, is standing at the base of the stairs, looking daggers at an elven swordswoman who has 2 blades dripping with blood.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes. So I want to go and look at the 3 men that are essentially trampled, I'm assuming at this point. Are any of them alive?
All 3 of them are alive. They are battered and wounded, and you believe that the 2 who are missing appendages may not survive very long without medical attention.
Is there anything that I can do quickly to like stem the bleeding?
Sure, roll me a medicine check.
Sorry, I have to open a dice app because I had to leave my dice downstairs.
No!
14.
A 14, you can easily staunch the flow of blood for all 3 of these nobles, but it will take you a little bit of time. The swordswoman standing at the top of the stairs does not move an inch. She stays exactly where she was when told to guard the exit.
So while I'm working on the nobleman, I'm going to say to her in Elvish, so it's very clear that I'm speaking to her. What kind of ship are you running here? First a man falls overboard. Now you've trapped us down here while another person dies. Who's next? Now you're slicing hands off of the innocent? Why? What is this?
I told them to stay down there, she says. And
you've trapped us all like rats down here.
Yes, just like rats, she clarifies for you. This is when you see Basilisk arrive in this guise that you've seen a few times now, kind of a default for him. And he's still carrying a tray. These noblemen and women have piled themselves around their servants and handmaidens, and they are kind of pushed up against all of the artwork as far away from the blood, carnage, and flames as they can find.
Can I size her up?
Still...
Like, how strong does she look?
Interesting. How would you be sizing her up?
Her stance, if she has any magical looking items, and then like the look of her eyes is that of like a distinguished killer.
That sounds more like an insight check. Go ahead and roll that for me.
All right. I don't think I'm good at that one. Oh, no, I'm not. That's a 13.
A 13 can tell you this person has seen battle, probably war at one point. She has some scars. The way that she stands, the calluses on her hands. You can tell that she's very familiar with a blade, both.
Nope.
Gragnar and Specs. The 2 of you are trapped. What do you do?
There's a floor under us, right?
Yes. There is one more level to the ship beneath where you are.
Would you like the blade, Specs?
Is it time?
It's time, friend. And I reach over and I hand him this fogging, icy psychic blade. And then I want to enlarge through my Duergar to go large. And then I want to stomp on the wooden floor of this ship to go into the one below.
And I'm going to guidance him with the
Guidance. All right, this is going to be a pretty massive strength check, but I'll let you do strength athletics.
I have a +5. Let's see how it goes. I got a 10.
You did have guidance. What does that
Oh.
do?
It's a D4.
I got a 17. All of it.
17, all of it.
17, all of it.
The camera cuts back to Savvy. Savvy,
Fuck.
you hear fuck from out in the hallway. You recognize Gragnar's voice and probably Specs laughing.
Oh no, what are they doing?
Gragnar, are you going to continue to do this until the floor gives?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like a Celtic dance-off right here until this thing falls apart.
And question.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I know it's an opaque wall of fire. Being a rogue, but also being somebody very perceptive, could I kind of pinpoint where the person is through the fire somehow with like voice and sound?
You know, when Gragnar starts to stomp the floor in, she does say, "What the hell are you doing?" Roll me a perception check. See if you can pinpoint where she may be.
That is a 19.
You think you have a pretty good idea.
I take that blade and try to toss it through the fire. It's a psychic blade, so I don't know if it's going to be affected by the flame or not. But I'm going to try to pinpoint where it's at and just shoot.
Your perception check gives you the rough idea of where she is, so you can make the attack. So that's good. Roll disadvantage throwing through the fire and see if you can hit her.
Okay.
It's getting hot in this circle.
A board cracks, Gragnar.
That was a natural one.
Savvy, you see coming through the door this spectral, frosty, smoking blade.
I immediately almost almost shriek, and then I go,
Yes. Your friend shrieks. Ah! And leans away. And then he looks at you with his eyes wide, like he done fucked up.
yeah, I'm like,
You hear the knob of the door twist.
I would like to scurry back to my hiding place. Yeah, I would scurry back to my hiding place.
You scurry back to your hiding place. The door opens, and you see this armored half-orc gentleman that you saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
One of Jarum's bodyguards.
Mm-hmm.
He opens the door, sees this other intruder, and then closes the door and holds it. The assassin who snuck through the porthole looks at you and well, this changes things.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with you, I think. What's your name?
He says.
What's your name?
He says, Ulumar.
Ooh. All right, cool. I'm Savvy. It's nice to meet you. I promise I won't get in the way much. Just don't let me die, cause
He comes around the bed where you are and picks up this feather mattress and kind of ruffles it and pushes. He seems kind of weak, but he shuffles and shuffles and shuffles and tries to bunch it up so that he can duck down behind it next to you. And he says, I did not prepare for closed doors with guards. You're supposed to be upstairs.
Wait. What do you mean I'm supposed to be upstairs? Who else is? Are you alone?
Yes. Are you? He asks.
Maybe.
I don't believe you.
I'm not the best liar. That is a lie.
Gragnar, the floor collapses.
Yes.
Specs, Gragnar, the two of you please roll me dexterity saving throws
Fuck.
as you fall 10 feet into the hold of the ship.
That is a 24.
I got a 12.
Specs, you land and roll as common training would dictate for you. You see Gragnar with his enlarged form, his arms smoking, parts of his clothes still aflame, falls just behind you and lands atop 3 boxes and crushes them flat.
Ooh, I hope the
Gragnar.
wine isn't in one of these.
Gragnar, take 2 points of bludgeoning damage from your 10-foot fall.
I can take that.
Hey, don't be breaking stuff. What if that has valuables and stuff? Come on, big small guy.
Remember, we came here for the wine. We get that and we get out. Things are getting pretty bad up there if you didn't see.
I agree. Where is it?
We look around, probably.
We look around.
You see the light streaming in from above you dissipate very quickly as the flames disappear.
You should hide. I can't hide.
Roll me a stealth check, Specs. Gragnar, you can roll me a perception check because you're looking around.
I also do have a question, though.
Sure.
Am I within 30? I fell 10 feet. Am I within 30 feet? Let me look at wording. Aha. Yes. Am I within 30 feet of that creature who cast the wall of fire?
You would not have line of sight, but you would be within 30 feet, yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't mention sight. So I'm going to effectively I'm going to cunning action to hide. And what is that, stealth? Yeah. What the fuck is this? So that's a 1. That's fine.
Squeaky gears or something.
However, it doesn't matter because as whatever he does and struggles with, you can describe it. You see, if the camera's to look at him, he has like golden eyes that seem like they're like mechanical in a way, but not really. His entire eyes just go black. And you just see like this force of dark necrotic energy bolt up from him and shoot at the tiefling.
All right. What do you need for her to do?
Nothing. It's an attack.
Okay.
It's my bolts from the grave.
Roll it.
That is a 23 to hit.
Hits.
That is 2d6 plus 3 necrotic damage. As this is my special revive skill. That is 8 points of necrotic damage.
Gragnar, you're looking around, and you can see that most of this stuff has been stored probably in the past day. It looks to be provisions and food, water, things like that. And then you hear as this dark necrotic energy laces up the hole and down the hallway. And then there is a scream shortly after with a cry of support from someone else upstairs. You're pretty sure, having seen the wine, that it would not fit in most of these small cargo boxes. It was a pretty sizable jug, and even if it did, it would have to be packed in straw or sawdust. You don't see any of that down here.
Wait, we're going to retcon that.
How dare.
Because I'm looking at it. It doesn't say I need to see him, but it does say range spell attack, so I would assume I need to see him for the attack. But it doesn't say, it just says against a creature within 30 feet.
You threw it when you were falling, it's fine.
Great. I'm like, it doesn't say, we'll talk. Anywho.
Yeah.
I get up off of the boxes that I crush. I imagine there's like a diaper or something sticking to my back from what I landed on. I don't know, some sort of provision.
No, I think that you would probably be covered in fruit.
Fruit?
Probably
Okay, what kind of
lemons and limes.
lemons? Well, at least I won't get scurvy.
It smells delicious, but it is very uncomfortable burning into your
Ooh, I got a
cuts
cut
and
there.
wounds.
Yeah. Oh, I say, and I look around the room. Is there a door leading out somewhere? And as I'm looking, I turn to Specs and I say, "It's not going to be here. We need to get out of here before that thing gets down here."
In the hold of the ship, you can see all the way from the stern to the bow. It's one big, long corridor.
Yeah.
So you imagine if you beat feet, you can probably find a ladder leading up or a staircase leading up that folds up into the ship.
Okay. So, can I? So I have this telekinetic ability that lets me push people that I can see, and they make a strength save, and I push them back. Can I look up at that hole in case she tries to come down and force her back up as I'm like backing away towards this area?
Sure. What's the range on it?
That is a good question. It says it's just, I think it's the mage hand length. It says it's a mage hand, so probably 30 feet.
Okay. Within that 30 feet, you do not see her attempt to come down.
I've like got this weird, there's kind of like a shuddering sound from the telekinetic energy, and I just kind of look at Specs nervously and just raise one of my eyebrows as if to say, some shit's gonna go down here in a second.
And Specs is just like, we'll see. It's fine. And starts to like walk over towards Big Nar right now.
I'm still only like 6 feet tall though.
Hashtag
But Big
Big
Nar.
Nar. You wide, boy.
I'm thick.
All right. BRB.
Perfect. The two of you start looking for an exit. Basilisk, you and Thelen are currently trapped inside this room of artwork and nobles. You hear the fire behind you disappear. A shriek, cracking of the floor, all kinds of things. What do you do?
So, question. Do I need it? From my experience, was there anything I would have needed after taking out the cook, like that Basilisk would have innately known?
No.
Okay. Just to make
It's
sure.
different. It's different usually for each person's skill set.
Okay.
For your Assassin's Guild. Yours
Okay.
is infiltration and sabotage. The fact that if they gave you a head to carry around, it wouldn't work for you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Wanted to
you've
make sure.
done what you did. They'll
Thank
learn
you.
about it later. Others may have different specifications for the job.
Got it. Okay. Are there any nobles around that I've heard of that are just really trashy people?
All of them.
Okay.
That's what nobles and rich people are.
That's fair. You know what? There's a
Shots
bunch
fired.
of nobles freaking out and running around, right?
Well, actually, they're huddled together in mass around all these statues and tapestries inside this room.
I'm gonna stab one, but like I'm gonna try to be sneaky about it. Like
You would know,
Mhm.
Basilisk, the assassin, and rogue, that the chances of you stabbing someone with 13 people crammed together, terrified, and staring at you and your friend, probably not going to happen. They'll know that you stabbed somebody.
Okay.
Because you walk nonchalantly down the hallway after a big blast of flame, carrying a tray with a hare dinner on it.
Yes. Okay. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lean over to a noble and be like, you know, she can't stop us all.
She can sure as hell stop me.
He says.
I need my hands.
But if we all work together, we can plow through her.
He's right. We can overpower her if we all try together.
Absolutely.
You've never fought a day in your life.
Well, today's the day to fight, so we can survive.
So you are attempting to incite a riot, basically.
Yes. Correct.
So roll me a persuasion check, disadvantage because they're terrified.
That's fine. I accept that.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that first one. First one was an 18 natural. Second one is a 19 total.
19 total.
Yep.
Out of 13 people down here, sadly, Miss Redstream has become a corpse, and Ingram Brightmaker has been thrown overboard. Of the 13 remaining, 5 of them, the hale and hearty, and this is including people who are ordered to do so, are with you. They all give the nod.
On my count.
They wait for you. 3.
2.
One of them pulls their belt off and tightens it between their fists, their only
1.
weapon.
1. And then I'm going to run forward, and then I'm going to feign tripping. But try to get the rest of them to go.
You take 2 steps and trip yourself. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
That I am good at. That is a 24. 24, yes.
You avoid being trampled completely by the people following you. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as they stamp on your feetsies. They run to the stairs and run up. Felon, you're between these nobles who are charging at the stairs and this swordswoman who will most definitely hack them to pieces. What do you do?
Have I finished like bandaging the people up? So I'm gonna like fully like pull out my rapier and turn and stand up and point them at the nobles and just growl at them, sit down, this isn't your place, and slowly walk up the stairs to meet the swordswoman.
So this is going to have to be an opposition to Gabe's or Basilisk's persuasion check. I need an intimidation check from you, Thelen.
Oof, 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 oof.
Good.
I am not scary.
You have a sword. I'm very tempted to give you advantage. I think I'm going to, just because you're actually armed.
Hold on. Okay, I'm not the DM.
Good, because I needed that. And that becomes a 21.
I don't... Gabe, what was your roll before? It was high, right?
Which one?
Persuasion. Huh?
My persuasion was a 19 with disadvantage. Yep.
Thelen.
I like how you sprinkled that on there.
Of the 5 that have rushed the stairs, all but 1 is stopped by your threatening, sword-waving growl.
I throw my tray at Thelen.
Thelen, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Can I make a ranged attack instead?
Sure, we can do that. It's an improvised weapon, so you're not proficient. So it would just be your strength?
Dex, because I'm throwing it.
Nope.
Oh, I guess improvise. Okay.
Yep.
Can you guess what that is?
Either a 1 or a 20.
It's not a 1.
All right.
I just got crit by a tray.
Liz. Whang! A tray hits Thelen on the side of the head. Roll me 1d4 damage, Basilisk. What? I wasn't looking.
That's a 3.
You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, Thelen. And can you make me a Constitution saving throw from the poisoned food that plasters across your face?
I am super stoked, y'all. Oh, thank God I am a Shadarkai because I get extra Constitution. That is a 22.
A 22. Hold a moment,
but you remember
please.
what that berry did to that guy, right?
Remember what it did to me.
That's fine. They didn't. That's fine. They're fine.
Maybe it's a necrotic poison.
You said 22?
22.
That is enough. Your hit point maximum is reduced by half on a successful saving throw against this poison.
Cool.
for 1 hour. While your health is reduced in this way, you take 3 points of poison damage at the start of each of your turns.
Cool.
I'm gonna have to research this poison because this is interesting. Gabe is saying that, not Basilisk. Gabe feels horrible because he absolutely forgot. Basilisk was just like, "How dare you play with my toys?" Ugh!
Felon, it feels as though this poison connected to your face, mind you. It may have been less effective somewhere else. This poison feels as though it leaches straight into your skull. You feel like you want to puke, like curl up and die. It feels terrible. But you are still on your feet. Do you proceed up the stairs?
No.
So you kind of take a knee and reevaluate?
Yep.
So you have a front row seat, Felon, to seeing this young valet run up the stairs with his belt stretched between his hands as he gets cut to pieces. Hit 3 times, twice with a long sword and once with a short sword. He is cleft nearly in 2 and crumples down the stairs at your feet. And you hear this swordswoman say, "Anyone else?" Savvy.
Yep, I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
I think this whole time, Savvy will have been. So she was going to go back to the door and look under the door and see if there were feet outside of it.
You do see feet.
Okay, there are feet. Can I listen at the door to kind of determine if the reason the door was closed was out of fear or if he is calling for backup?
You can almost instinctively know that it's mainly to hold you in there because there's no exit.
Okay, cool.
You hear them on the other side of the door, this deep, kind of gravelly, half-orc voice, and this more nubile, tiefling woman speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they're just saying, who the hell snuck in here? I don't know. I didn't see them pass me.
All right, cool.
Do we kill them? We don't know if they're the threat. We know the 2 that went downstairs are. Where did they go? I have no idea.
Did they see me or did they just see
They
my
just
new
saw
friend?
your new companion.
Okay. Awesome. So then I will crawl back over to Ulamar and I'll whisper like, so the same kind of conversation. So do we kill them or?
He says, that mage seems powerful. And that guy, a cook, sure.
You have no inspiration?
He says, no.
What? Why were you going to kill the cook?
10,400 gold pieces.
It's a good reason to kill a cook.
He gives you the nod. Like, apparently guy was going to poison someone real important.
Oh.
You know, before.
Right. We definitely.
He laughs.
Well, since we're stuck in here for a while, we either have to come up with a plan to get out of here, or I could try to crack that safe again.
He
just
says,
in case
what is in the safe?
I don't know what's in the safe.
He bites.
I'm sorry?
He bites. What is in the safe?
Why do you bite?
He says, sorry, I'm nervous.
Okay, you're a nervous biter. Not a thing I've ever seen. I don't know. Maybe there's wine. I'm looking for a wine, a very expensive wine, and maybe it's in the safe.
He says, okay, I like wine.
You can't have any. Well, maybe you can have some of the wine. If we get out of here, maybe you can have some of the wine. It's for somebody who's not on the ship.
Deal.
All right, cool. I'm going
He
to.
picks up the mattress and starts sliding it over towards the safe, like hiding behind it. I don't know, arrows. Who knows?
Shh. Fine.
I'll cover
support-
you, new friend, Savvy.
Thank you. I support you in your journey. I'm going to use my eye for detail
Mm-hmm.
to see if I can spot any clues or anything that might help me crack this safe code.
Sure.
Great. My dice hate me. That's a 10.
You don't think so. You think that would have given you maybe advantage on a roll to try and crack it. But if you want to just try and brute force it again with your thieves' tools, you can certainly do that.
I will do that.
Give it a shot.
Well, that's better. That is that's an 18.
It takes you a little while to work on this lock and crack it open. And it's at the point where it seems almost strange that they've not moved on you. But eventually you do get it open. And inside the safe, you see that there is a ledger that has shipping dates in it.
Okay.
Boring. A jug that looks very familiar, that you know to be filled with very expensive wine. And a robe.
A robe?
Folded up
Ooh.
and wrapped in cloth.
I take the robe first. What
It
kind
is
of robe
a
is
maroon color, very silky, and a little gossamer on the inside. Like the lining is very thin and very soft.
Ooh. I stick that in my bag.
Okay.
And then just for me, because I am a very inquisitive being, I will check the ledger. I'll take a look at it. See if anything's fishy.
It seems to be written in cipher, and from your experience, it does just look like shipping dates where they'll be stopping to take on water, things like that.
That's boring. This jug, though. This jug.
Is that the wine?
It is. Maybe you can do me a favor.
What?
So I go over to the porthole, and does the jug look like it'll fit through the porthole?
It does not.
Darn.
It is big.
Okay.
If you can imagine, it's like yay large.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's
he was
real
holding
big.
it with both hands and under the arm, like almost a laundry basket. It's pretty big.
Okay. All right. So you can't do me a favor, but that's okay. We need to get out of here with this. Somehow.
We're in quite a sticky predicament. He laughs.
You are adorable. Is he wearing anything?
He's wearing pants. They're kind of like Solomon Grundy style, like cut up at the leg, real old
Okay.
and disheveled looking. And it looks like he's cut them up, like climbing around the ship. They look kind of new otherwise.
Okay. So what even are you? And like, I'll take my finger and I'll like run it down his chest because he looks really greasy, and I want to understand what is happening here.
Hold on. When you run your finger down his chest, he giggles mercilessly and tries to pull away from you. Quick, he says. The oil that's stuck to your finger makes your finger very pliable. And when you rub your fingers together and press the oil, you see that your finger bends unnaturally.
This is weird.
He says, I figured it would be an easy way into this room. I am human, by the way. Hello, he says.
Oh, all right, cool.
Just
do you
weird.
have any... Yeah, embrace your weird.
It takes all kinds, really.
It really does. Do you have any more of the stuff, though?
He says, I have one vial.
How long does it last?
About an hour. That's what he told me, anyway. So maybe 10 minutes, if we're actually being honest here.
Well, how long did it take you to climb the ship?
I've only been here about 15 minutes, so...
So it lasts more than 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, ballparking. It could be 15, it could be 18, you know, it could be... He's, like, wiggling his finger backwards. And he's like, it could wear off whenever.
He's, like, doing this.
Yeah.
Well...
It feels real weird.
I bet it does. Do you think I can maybe borrow that, though?
Do you have any money? He says.
I have a little.
It's not cheap.
How much was it?
440 gold pieces each.
I don't have that much.
Sucks, he says.
Well.
Pardon me. You hear, this close to the porthole. Pardon me. Gragnar and Specs, you find a collapsible staircase that locks up into the ceiling of this hold to let things move around freely if need be. Do you pull it down?
There's a collapsible ceiling that...
It's a staircase that comes down from the level above into the hold that you can climb up.
I look at... Specs looks at Gragnar. Okay, so this is Operation Fuzzy Lumpkins. You go and hide, and I will pull the thing down. And if something attacks me, you know, you so knife, and we'll kill it. Or if it's nice, I'll just be like, hey, and we go from there.
So I'm going to pull down this thing?
No. You hide. I'm going to pull down the thing. And if it's bad, then you have a range to throw, you know.
Soul knife, yes.
Soul knife, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I kind of like that, and then you hear like the music whenever Mario bloop 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 bloop, and I go back to like 4.5 feet tall. And actually, I think I'm 3.5 feet tall. And then I'm gonna waddle over behind a box of something secure and harness two of my foggy blades and look towards this, what I'm imagining is kind of like an attic pull.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, get a good angle.
Yeah, and I get there and I wait till he's hidden, and I'm like,
you can unsnap the latch.
A performance of a lifetime. Okay. Ma.
You see, standing at the top landing of the stairs, 13 crewmen with crossbows.
All right,
Come on up.
What did you see?
You hear him say through the floor.
What?
We know you're down there. Come on up. There's no other way to the second story.
You saw nothing. You see boxes talking to you. It's just your imagination.
Like hell, there's no way up here.
Yeah. And I'm gonna look at Gragnar, or at least where Gragnar area is, and like, we're not getting out of this. Okay. And I touch my chest. Not chest. It's like upper area, and embedded in my not embedded, but like right in this area, it's like a circle in like a line, and it's like, it looks like it could be like a tattoo, but he's metal and it's not. It's just there, and he touches that instinctively, and myself and Specs and Gragnar will be blessed for the next minute.
Awesome.
Like, You ready for this?
I look back at Specs and I say, "This is just like that time when, actually that was someone else." And I get my soul knife blades ready, and I wanna scatter some caltrops out in front of the where the stairway kind of falls down. Are we gonna fight these 13?
The two of you have pretty high passive perception, right?
I have 16.
Yeah.
16? Yeah.
I'll say yes.
The two of you would hear from up top on the ship, this boomingly loud voice has to be, pierces through all the decks of the ship, and you hear, "Pardon me, pardon me." Basilisk, Thelen, the two of you have nursed these wounds. Thelen has collapsed on the stairs on one knee and is fighting off the urge to throw up or die. Not sure which. What are the two of you doing? You notice, Basilisk, that you've poisoned the absolute hell out of Thelen with that food.
There's like a split second of remorse.
How many stairs away from me is she?
8.
And is there like food from the tray on the ground?
Yes.
I'm going to stab the tip of my rapier in the food, kind of using it to get myself up, and then go at her and just try to like give a good old shank with the poison tip of the rapier.
Thelen and Basilisk, roll initiative, please.
Oh no! Okay.
Roll high.
Goodness gracious. That's a dirty 20. 17 plus 3.
26.
Woo!
What the heck?
I add my charisma.
Oh.
All right, Thelen, you are the first to act. You run up the stairs, and she sees you coming, but is a little taken aback by the fact that you would try her even at this point. What do you do?
Attack.
Roll it.
Attack.
21 to hit.
That hits.
How many sneak attacks do you get at this level? 2.
2d6.
Because I am a swashbuckler, I can get in a sneak attack without having advantage, and there's no one else around.
Yep.
Nice.
So that is 15 points of damage.
You hack into her, probably around the leg area since you're down the stairs. And she winces at the pain of this laceration with the poison in it. And you can tell that the poison has had some effect, though from an injury it doesn't seem as bad as getting it smeared across your face, though it is still bad. And you can see that she wobbles a bit and takes a step up the stairs.
Can I use the rest of my movement to get past her and then bonus action dash up the stairs the rest of the way? Or is she blocking it too much?
You would provoke an attack of opportunity unless you use your bonus action.
Not.
She won't.
I would
Swashbuckler.
Yeah, so yeah, you can get up there, fine.
I love swashbuckler.
You want to go all the way to the top of the stairs?
Yep, I want to get as far away as I can go.
All right, when you get to the top of the stairs, you see 27 crewmen with crossbow bolts loaded into crossbows, standing in a horseshoe shape facing the stairs. Standing just outside of your reach, you also see a 6'8" dragon man, the captain of this vessel that all of you knew would be here. And he is currently holding a great sword out in front of him and says,
Don't you think that's enough?
And I'm just gonna fall on my knees at the top of the stairs.
Basilisk?
Okay, how
You see
far
Thelen-
is that tray?
You probably threw it 10, 15 feet.
Oh, so I could definitely grab it and eat it.
Sure.
Okay.
Food's off of it now, smeared all over your best friend Thelen.
Is there any poison or like
Sure.
food still on it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna chuck it at her face this time.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
All right, and that's another improvised weapon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, hold on to your butts. It's a 19.
And 19 hits. Roll your d4.
And since she hasn't acted yet, it's a sneak attack and a critical because of assassinate.
You are not hidden from her, so it would just be a sneak attack.
Okay. Well, no, because that's assassinate is if they haven't acted in combat yet.
You get sneak attack if they haven't acted in combat yet.
No, that's the assassin subtrait. It's a critical if they haven't acted or if they haven't seen me. If they haven't taken a turn in combat yet. I'll show you. I got you.
Okay.
I got you. One of the only reasons that you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit.
She's not surprised
it's
by
not
you.
surprised. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You're right. So then it's
I want to live the dream for you, but she's not surprised.
You're absolutely right. That's 6 damage sneak attack and 3 from the tray.
All right, the tray slams into her. And you see the food that smears over her, just like the injury, makes her wobble a bit, and she spits and says, "What the fuck?"
Bonus action, I'm going to throw my dagger.
Okay.
Aha, that I'm actually good at. That's a 23. Yeah.
Hits.
So then it's another 2 damage.
This one just kind of tinks into her armor, and
Yep,
she
that's fine.
shrugs and kind of knocks it out. But you see a little bit of blood trickle through the wound. She hears the captain above her and sees Thelen kind of collapse. Not sure what's happening to her, she will turn and dash up the stairs. Thelen, you see her pass you by, drop her sword, and run into the crowd of sailors that have armed crossbows pointed in your direction. And she says, "I don't know what's wrong with me," as she goes by. Emir, the captain of the ship, holds up his sword, points it at Thelen, and everyone aboard is startled when they hear a booming voice say, "Pardon me! Pardon me!" Thelen, you see standing just outside of the ship is an old man, seemingly in his 50s. He's got a bushy white beard and a pot belly. He is dressed in modest clothes and is just kind of waving. And he says, "Permission to come aboard, please." He says, "Permission to come aboard," in this booming voice. Everyone is a little taken aback. And they're like, Can't you see we're busy, old man? Says one of the crewmen. It's fine, it's fine. Please don't do any harm to anyone unduly. We can work this out. Emir says to the man, come aboard. And he takes a jaunty step and nearly loses his balance, gets himself upright on the ship, and says, Captain, I request that you release the people you have down in your hold and in your ship. Jaram steps forward, the nobleman who has vexed you all so much. And he says, someone on this ship has committed murder. Yes, yes, the old man waves. I require them. I promise we can make arrangements to see everyone made whole. Imbram Brightmaker's wife, still a complete wreck, clutching his body at the edge of the bow of the ship, says, someone has to pay for this. Yes, yes, he waves his hand again. We will all pay for this. But I sincerely do need those below deck freed. I'm sure you heard the commotion earlier. The explosion. One of the ship's crewmen steps forward and says, thank you for the cheer, and says, our first ever, by the way, my first ever cheer, steps forward and says, listen here, you old fuck. We said you need to... Thelen, there is no incantation or word of power. There's no staff or wand that you can see anywhere. You hear a whoop and a crack as that crewman is flung across the deck and crumpled into the mast, where he falls in a broken heap.
Oh, I apologize. I think that my cordiality was mistaken for weakness.
Thelen,
I just
what do
cough
you
up
do?
a little blood.
You cough up a little blood.
I'm
Basilisk,
kind of...
are you doing anything either? Just, I'm getting a general gist of what people are doing so I can adjudicate.
I'm gonna back into the crowd, and during the panic, I'm gonna shift into a blonde human woman with her hair to the side.
Okay. Specs, Gragnar, you hear all this happening above you.
If I hear this voice, and I'm looking at Gregor, like mouthing, "What the fuck?" I'm gonna pull that string back down, and if they're not moving, I'm gonna like.
You see that there are a couple people with their crossbows pointed in your direction, but they seem to be looking at this person now. You can hear his voice very clearly now that you've opened the stairs. And he says,
I want the people on your ship released, or I will turn this whole street into a smoking ruin.
Thelen, you spit blood onto the deck of the ship. You feel your insides still churning and twisting, this pain that won't leave. And you see the air above this bald, bearded man shimmer. You can feel, even from 50 feet away, this power coming off of him. And the whole ship is completely silent. What do you do?
I'm gonna use my rapier again to push myself back up feeling a little weak and poisoned, and just kind of like dragging it along the tip, like dragging the tip of the rapier along like the boards of the ship, walk towards this guy, like wiping the blood that I just coughed up like off my face, like with my sleeve. Just kind of a mess.
He doesn't turn his head towards you, but he cuts his eyes in your direction. And he says, "Greetings," through his teeth. "Greetings," as you walk by off of the ship and onto the street. Savvy. When this man screams and you can barely hear it, the ship rocks ever so gently. You can feel it because you're below deck.
Cool.
Footsteps go away from the door where you were locked inside as these two bodyguards make their way above deck.
All right. I wait for probably 12 seconds. Then I open the door.
Both of you peek. through the
Scooby-Doo
crack
style.
of the door.
Absolutely Scooby-Doo style. Then I say, we should probably go.
All right. You see him take a moment. He shakes his hair in front of his face. "Are you my enemy? Are you my enemy? Are you my enemy?" And then he follows you out of the door.
What the hell?
I give him like before I go, I give him a look like, "Can I ask you a question?"
"Yeah," he says with an affected voice.
"How many people have you killed before?"
8.
"Are you being truthful?"
"I have no reason to lie," he says.
"Yeah, but that thing that you just did, it was like you were practicing. Like,
Just because I kill doesn't mean I like killing people. I don't have to." And when he says have to, he chops his hand in the air. And he's like, "If they're scared, they leave, and I don't have to kill them. Where's the kitchen?"
"Oh, it's this way."
You point out the kitchen, and he says, "Good luck, Savvy."
"Oh no, I'm coming with you. You said, oh no, wait, no, I don't
I'm going
have
back
to."
out the... So,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
"You owe me wine,"
Well,
he says.
yeah, you can look for Savvy. I am around.
He says, "I find people. That's fine.
That's
We'll do
great.
drinks," he
Yeah.
says,
Oh.
and backs into the kitchen.
Right. Okay.
I love this exchange. As you're passing by this hole in the hallway, past the kitchen, carrying this ceramic jug, your best friend, Ulamar, steps into the kitchen, and then a few moments later he says, "He's already dead," from inside. You hear, as he's sawing, presumably his head off.
Mm-hmm. And I say, "Well, good job. You didn't have." I say this more to myself. "Good job. You didn't have to kill anybody. That's easy work for you." This jug, I have to carry it like this, right?
Presumably, yeah. Unless you want to strap it to your back or something.
Oh, that's what I was like. Was there like a bigger bag or like some way that I could like
You could
strap
wrap it in a sheet.
I would like
strap it to yourself. Yeah.
I would like to do that.
So you have this Gara gourd on your
Yep.
back. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Put some eyeliner over my eyes.
It
dye my hair
sloshes
red.
very uncomfortably, like it's maybe half full. But yeah.
Okay. I try to adjust my walking gait to kind of move with the wine.
Perfect.
And then I will make my way to the crowd.
As you're making your way down this hallway, you can hear like the pitter-patter of very trepidatious feet coming up the stairs. And then the voice booms out again. "Come on, then. Come on, hurry.
Who is this? Who is this guy? Who are the feet? Is it just the feet
It's
of
the
the
nobles heading up the stairs in a big cluster. Some of them are suspiciously eyeing this blonde person among their number.
Uh-huh. I've never seen this blonde person before, have I? All right, it's probably Basilisk.
It's not a huge jump for you.
No. Yeah, okay. I will I'll be in the back because I am wearing you make it too easy. I will be in the back because I've got a big old jar on my back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will try to be one of the last people up.
Being the last person up, Basilisk, you head up with the group, yeah? Gragnar and Specs, what are you two doing? Are you ascending the stairs? No one's stopping you, no one's shooting at you. It seems like they're just looking, unsure what to do.
I take a moment to pick up my caltrops, and I'm like, these things are expensive. I don't know if we even got the wine. We could be at this another week from now, and I put them all in my pocket. And then I turn to Specs, and I say, I think this is our only option at this point.
I mean, they're not firing it on us, so we might as well. And that voice sounds familiar. You know, I can do that too. As I thaumaturge my voice towards Gragnar. Mm-hmm. But that sounds a lot more.
It's real loud, Gragnar. It echoes in the hold of the ship.
Oh, yes, thank you for that. I think that's enough for now.
I just, I thought it was a correlation, and it's probably not. And he's saying this as he's walking up. Maybe I can do my voice like that too. Is that like an upgrade to this stuff? I don't understand magic.
I don't either. I could have sworn I heard something tanging around up there, so I don't know if there's some workers or something on this ship or somebody's throwing a tray around, but
I don't know. They seem pretty preoccupied.
Yeah, so I will trepidatiously make my way up, kind of shifty-eyed, looking at all the crossbow
as you ascend the stairs, you specifically peer out from between people's legs as you're ascending and see that there is a corpse that has been flung hard enough to wrap part of it around the mast. A broken sailor that is being held together mostly by his clothes. Standing directly opposite from that scene, you see this old, bald, portly man with the air above him shimmering as though right before you strike a match on kerosene.
Well, I'm going to silently, I guess, make a nod towards this man who has freed us from the area. But I guess shuffle in with the rest of the group. Yeah, they're standing up here, right?
You see that this bald man is actually popping his fingers, standing there kind of waiting and passing the time, rubbing his thumbs together. And when he sees you, he says, hurry along, hurry along.
Mate, I don't believe we've met. I'm Gragnar, and this is my friend Specs.
I'm Specs!
Yeah, that's him.
Specs, he smiles at you. And he says, oh, yes, you are. Come along now.
Hey, Gragnar, he likes me.
The nobles flee into the city.
I guess I'll use my telepathy to mention to Specs, be careful. I'm pretty sure this old man flung that crippled body on the ground over there. We should probably be careful.
Wait, what? Oh.
When you turn and see it, Specs, yeah, it's a sign from a nightmare. It's pretty bad.
That looks worse than. Never mind.
All the color has drained from most of the crew's face, and Jerem is shaking with rage or terror. You are not sure. holding in his hand an ornate scimitar that he has pulled from the sheath at his hip. And he watches as you go by. And he says, kind of through his teeth, as they chatter just a bit, "One of you killed him, and I will find out who."
What if it was you?
He says, "It couldn't have been me. Don't be dumb."
No, you just assume and stuff. You don't know us. You don't know our alibis.
And one of the crewmen nearby says, "What if it was me? I was asleep."
See?
I think it might have been you.
Check your friends.
Specs, you also see coming from the stairs leading down where there's a lot of blood. Savvy stepping up with something big and white strapped to her back. Maybe a child's body. You're not really sure.
It's absolutely a child. Absolutely.
"Now that we have a quorum," the bald man says, "we will be departing your vessel, Captain," he says, and takes one leisurely step backwards off onto the dock. "Happy sailing," he says, and throws what seems to be a pouch about the size of a cantaloupe that was hanging on his side. Yeah, it's flat, but it's about yay big. And when he throws it onto the ship, it scatters diamonds across the deck of the ship. And he says, "See to putting your friends back in working order, and we will call this matter resolved." Specifically to Jerem. And Jerem says, "It's not resolved by a long shot, old man." "Good."
I turn towards Jerem and I whisper, "Diamonds are forever." Except not really. Not really.
No, it happened. You're
Okay.
like, why did I say that?
Damn.
I said it in Duragar too.
What possessed
He
me?
wouldn't know what that means. And with that, he backs away from the ship about 10 strides. I don't know what any of you were doing, if you're staying with him or running loose into the city. But then he turns on his heel, tucks his hands in the small of his back, and begins to walk away. Thank you for the subscriptions.
So
all these subscriptions. I'm dying.
So, I'm just gonna ask the question that's probably on everyone's mind. What just happened? Because I'm going, and he's rambling, but as he's rambling, he's like slowly walking over towards the ship to grab a diamond. To like sneak a diamond.
Sure, you can sneak a diamond.
Yes.
You have one 50 GP diamond.
Good job, friends. Good job.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow the old man.
Okay. Thelen, what are you doing?
She was just waiting until everyone else that was in her little posse also arrived off the ship and just really looks terrible. Like, I mean, terrible. And is going to follow them wherever they go.
As you're
I don't
limping...
think I can, like, emphasize terrible enough.
Very, very terrible. As you're limping along, Thelen, you see kind of flying down, almost silently until it gets to you, an owl. Alright, I'm starting to get kind of emotional. These fucking hype train things get me. An owl. A muddy brown owl. Oh, God. Thank you so much, everybody. Like... Yeah, anyway. A muddy brown owl lands beside you on the ground and starts kind of hopping along. A moment later, it changes into a person and tucks itself underneath your arm and helps you limp along behind your companions.
Ow.
You seem like you need the help, says this creepy-looking, sickly, stumpy girl that has appeared beside you.
We don't have any money. Go away.
Specs,
Oh.
you notice something a little weird. It may not be worth mentioning to everybody, but you pass by one of the statues here in the city of Wuhan, nearby the docks district, that is a coffer, a big chest carved out of Huanian stone. And it's just been here forever, since the city was founded after the quarry exploded from the spell plague that swept over this land. But when you pass by, you cannot help but sense or smell blood and honey and just some disgustingly, sickeningly sweet irony smell coming from this statue, wafting over to you. When you pass by, you can also see, because your passive perception is nuts, you can also see that it appears to be slightly slimy.
So wait, something's coming towards me, did you say? Or I can smell something?
You smell something wafting over in your direction, coming off of this sculpture of a treasure chest that seems to be smeared with some kind of clear, slightly green slime that smells like irony, blood, and honey.
I'm going to notice this and look at the group and then just kind of saddle over towards that sliminess and try to get a closer look and try to figure out if I can, why it's calling out to me in a way. Why is it something I picked up on?
When you go over, the smell it's disgusting, very reeking to you. When you point it out, any other companions that would wander in that direction can also smell and see it just fine.
I do that with this wine on my back.
The old man stops and sits on a bench, seeing as you're all turning your attention to this sculpture. He's tapping his foot impatiently as you look. Is there anything specific that you would like to do to it?
Yeah. I'm going to try to I'm going to reach into my handy dandy mind and figure out if I can ascertain what it is. I'm going to touch it and look at it and just try to
you smear some of it off between your fingers, and it's oily and sticky, almost like glue. And it seems to be seeping straight out of the rock from seemingly nowhere.
I'm going to inspect this rock. Is there something I can move, or what the hell is going on?
Doesn't seem to be. It
Is
seems
it
to be made
magical?
of solid stone, same as it's always been.
Can I do I don't want to say that. I just want to I'm gonna get a not a flask, like a little clear
Vial?
glass. Yeah, like a vial. I'm what is the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna try to take some of this and put it into the vial and close it and I don't know what this is, but it looks interesting.
You goop some of it in there, close it up. Yeah, it's real viscous and gross. It slides down slowly on the glass.
Ew.
Are you done? Says this old man.
Were we supposed to be following you?
I think so.
Ah, shit.
I came for your benefit.
Oh,
No.
thanks. Did Talia send you?
Who?
All right, that's a no.
You have made something of a reputation for yourselves, he muses. And he says, it's a small price to pay, considering.
Considering?
I was going to give the diamonds to you as payment anyway. Using them to secure your passage from the ship gives me even more leverage to ask of you a favor, he says.
What favor?
Did you hear that explosion earlier? He asks. You all did, very clearly.
I was saying, did we, as we had fire coming at us?
From the distance, again, this happened miles and miles away. It sounded like two pans being slammed together inside the room with you. It was very loud.
I mean, I guess, we
were a little preoccupied.
Kind of in a disco inferno, but...
Yes. It seems you made a right fucking of whatever you were doing aboard that ship. He laughs to himself.
I didn't. And she does a dance and slashes the wine on her back.
Yeah. Felon, the girl that's been supporting you, this kind of stocky looking half-elven girl, deposits you on the bench next to this old man if you allow her to.
Yes, and I'm just gonna turn and choke out, what do I owe you for this?
I simply need you to do a job. And he pats your leg with his thick, meaty butcher's hand. He does not look the part of some kind of spell-casting, frou-frou individual. And he says, just to do a job. And I can even secure for you pardons if this comes back to you in the city. You did break at least 3 laws.
Hey, hold on.
Hold on a second. What do you think we did?
We did nothing. We was just on a ship.
Trespassing, thievery, murder.
Those
are the 3, I guess.
So this entire time, my gaze has not shifted from the old man.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I appear as the woman, my voice is more of the normal tone.
Oh, yeah.
What is it that you want from us, then?
I would like your assistance in safeguarding my apprentice as they look for a creature here in the city. How much? You see that his nose wrinkles and his brows lower at being interrupted. And he says, how much? How much for what? He asks.
The job.
Your payment is getting out of that ship, not into a stockade.
You are a reasonable gentleman, yes?
Felon, you see the young girl beside you gives you a look like, no. But he says, of course. I am both reasonable and magnanimous. I can impart to you a sum. How much would you require?
How long will it take, do you think?
Hopefully no more than a day or 2. Any more than that, and you will have much larger problems on your hands.
I don't know about for them, but 30 gold.
I have a question.
Yes.
What kind of creature in a city requires escort? What is it your apprentice is looking for?
That is the question, is it not? What indeed? He asks.
I don't know. That's why I asked.
He says, nor do I. Not one to read between the lines, are you, Duragar?
Are there any rules besides protection?
No.
25 gold.
Done. Obviously.
Now hold on. We need our breakfast fees. We need our travel fees. We need our fucking overhead fees. I'd say about 42 pieces of gold would be great for me.
Fine.
Thanks.
He waves his hand again.
Equipment. If we're going to be above or below the city, we need provisions. We need possibly spelunking equipment.
Fine, he says again. You will have all you need to do your jobs. You see, people from the windows nearby are starting to open shutters and look. His voice is still booming pretty loudly. He does not give 1 ounce of shit about anybody's comfort around him.
I bow.
And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Basilisk."
I'm just going to bow and say, "Then please continue, good sir."
He says, "There was a murder of 6 in the manor. Right over there." And he points to an earth moat floating probably 1,000 feet from the ground, far up into the sky. And he says, "The Valhurst family has been almost destroyed. If it were not for me being there, whatever happened may have killed everyone in the manor. I don't know what it was. I collected you when I was told you were in mortal peril, and now I am returning to see what in the hell transpired. Regardless, I cannot stay in this city. I must leave to attend to other business. But my apprentice," he gestures to the young girl, "she will do the work in my stead. All I want from you is to find out what killed the Valhursts and keep my apprentice from getting gutted. Does that sound fair?"
So
Savvy will actually raise her hand.
Bex does too, but waits for Savvy.
He stands and dusts a little bit of dust off of his rear and his pants, and he says, "Please let us talk and walk."
It sounds weird when you say it the other way.
Talk and walk, talk and walk, walk and talk, talk and walk. I guess you're right.
So Savvy will
All right,
ask,
that one got me.
Savvy will ask, when do you need this to happen, and is it okay if we, or at least I, make a stop first? Slosh.
The apprentice says, "I just assume, as long as it's done before he arrives again." "Yes, when I return, this matter needs to be finished. We will not have time to tally with such inconveniences. A couple of days at the most."
Okay. And what's your name, sir?
He turns and addresses you all formally, stands up, straightens his clothes, "am Master Theris."
Master Theris.
I do have a quick question, and I don't want to belittle your power, oh masterful one, whatever you are. But why do you need us when it seems like you can crumple things into, pieces with apparently a flick or a voice? I don't know. I didn't see it.
He smiles again at you, Specs, warmly, actually. And he says, "Why, Master Specs? I have business to attend to elsewhere."
Uh-huh. Okay. I mean, if that's just what you want to say, that's fine. I was just curious. I mean, we'll take all the money. It's probably going to be actually more like 100 gold pieces a person. But we'll talk about that later when we get all this done. I'm just saying, we were going to escort a creature, and now we have to figure out a murder mystery. This is more than we just bargained for. So I'm thinking more money. More money, more problems,
I can assure you, my apprentice can handle the investigative parts of this endeavor.
Ah.
Ashrava Everblood.
She holds her hand up.
What's her name again?
Ash Fingers Everblood.
Ashrava, she corrects. Everbleed. Of the Everblood family, she says. And when she does it, she's writing her name in front of her face with her finger.
Can you spell it for us?
Yeah.
They never have easy names.
Ashrava space
Ashrava. Got it.
Everbled. Everbleed. Of the Everblood family.
Ash Fingers.
You can call me Ash. She smiles.
It's nice to meet you. Now that we are work partners.
Theris says, yes, I am glad that you're getting to know one another. If I did not have prior engagements, I would see to this matter myself. But I've invested too many hours and too much of my effort to see my apprentice end up dead from this. Thelen, Ash, who she says to call her, is still kind of supporting you and helping you along. And she feels much more sturdy, kind of under you than you would expect from this willowy cuss of a girl. And she's secretly whispering to you little details whenever he brings her up, saying things like, I've just learned to make potions. It has been an arduous task. Things like that. As you progress across the city, you near the earth moats at the edge of the quarry where the city once stood. Once there is a mechanical pulley that brings you up a rattling set of chains, up several hundred feet. When you step off, it is in front of a palatial manor that stretches 40 feet overhead. From this vantage, you can see all the way to the sparkling waters of the Yanian Bay. Over top of all of... I don't get it. Over top of all of the walls, you can see so far into the distance on this brightly lit moonlit night. But there's a shock when you step from the elevator, as it's called, onto the pathway leading to this manor house, when you see that there are 5 children, 2 boys and 3 girls, with dark red hair, freckles, and dark, smooth skin, sitting encircled by watchblades, the city guards. And each one of them looks utterly distraught, the youngest of which is staring off into the distance with their hands clutched together and shoved between their knees rattling in place as they sit in the lawn outside of this manor house. The Valhurst children, Lord Theris says. When he approaches, the little kids get up and run over to him like an uncle or a doting father. And he scoops them up. He crouches down and kind of scoops them up into a hug. There, children, there, he says.
Specs, it's actually funny. Seeing that, Specs will like look over at Gragnar and like instinctively go over towards the children and like get on a knee, and will
show them your different little tricks.
Hey, I got a lot, but and he
they're sad.
Is there like any like rocks or something around?
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff. There's little rock gardens and hedges.
Right.
There's all kinds of things up here, especially for kids to kind of play with.
Cool. I take a rock and something that looks like it's like basically another rock or something, maybe metal. I don't know. I'm going to try to strike them together to make like some sparks, like a flame or something. And the minute something catches, I'm going to thaumaturge the flame, and let it just change different colors in front of them.
Look, children, pyrotechnics. You too can make fire with these rocks.
I would say it's $3.99 plus tax, but you look like you need some fun with for free.
You can also see that they're opulently dressed in like monogrammed silk nightgowns. They're very rich. And they say, rocks, and come over to you. Flame. They seem enamored.
They're sheltered lot.
Yeah.
It speaks. This dwarf looks funny.
Excuse me? I look up at the children.
Now, children, this is not a dwarf. It is a Duragar. Strong and fierce race. Duragar, the youngest one says.
I lean forward and I lightly tap one of the silk robes of the child, kind of rub it between my fingers, feeling the opulence, and I lean in and I say,
I've seen shit you wouldn't matter. You wouldn't imagine, you little shit.
And it says, it's rubbing me. And you see all the watch blades are playing close attention.
No.
It said fuck.
No. Hearing things, these children.
I go pick him up.
So docile. Oh, here we go.
I would also like to approach the children.
Yeah.
And kneel down, and I would like to ask them their names.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
Nebuchadnezzar and Daniel.
Thank you.
The oldest boy, who seems to be maybe 13 or 14, comes up to you and offers his hand to shake Savvy. And he says, my name is Oliver.
And that's his company? Sorry.
Oliver, now orphaned?
This is my sister Tessa, Jenna, Janine.
Jenna and Janine, or Jenna is Janine?
Jenna and Janine. They're twins.
Oh.
Tessa, Jenna, and Janine.
And my brother Armstrong, the youngest one.
She makes that face when he says the name of the last one, because in her face, in her mind, he doesn't look like an Armstrong.
He looks like a frightened, very thin, paler than his sibling's kid. Like he may have seen something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, she will shake Oliver's hand and go down the line, shake the rest of their hands if they will allow it.
Yeah.
And she looks at all of them with like this like super bright face, like she's clearly interacted with kids before. And she looks at them all and she says, "Don't you guys worry. Don't y'all worry. We're gonna find out what happened to your house, and we're gonna make everything as much better as we can."
They seem to take it to heart. You know, having the watch blades come in and kind of drag them out of bed and to safety is one thing, but having, you know, these quirky, strange adventuring folk come, you know, it seems different. You know, like seeing a fireman when you're a kid as opposed to a police officer. You know, you kind of respect one, but one's like, oh, you're a fireman. That's so cool.
Right.
And they seem enamored with the idea of these adventurers being on the case and helping them. And that is when Master Theris says, "All right, children, come here." And when they get close, he looks over their heads at you, and he still has that big bearded smile on his face. And he says, "We will be back in a few days' time," in a sing-song kind of happy voice. But there's this underlying note to it, this decisive bite into what he says, that he wants this taken care of, like now. And again, without saying or doing or writing or gesticulating, they vanish. Gone.
Like fade away, or like magic smoke, or like
No
portal,
smoke.
or no
Just
smoke.
gone.
Maybe they were never really
Oh,
there.
6 of them. The kids and him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank
Okay.
goodness.
Oh, shit.
Okay. That will kind of
Master is taking them to family, says Ash. Then he must see to the other business. I think that is why she gestures at all of you. Anyway, do you want to see the room? It is bad, she specifies.
Yes.
what does her face look like when she says it is bad? Because I'm getting like an Igor kind of vibe from her.
Kind of a grimace of pain. Again, like maybe one of the kids might have seen it. But it is actually bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, some of us need a little bit of medical attention. And she looks at Felon.
Oh, I'm so stupid. Of course, please. She gestures for some of the watchblades to come over, and when they do, they kind of come up to her like she may be the authoritative person here somehow. And
Helen's gonna like tighten her grip on Ash as the watchblades move by or move closer out of like nervousness.
Ash pats the back of your hand and says, I would like you to escort my friend to find some recompense, some convalescence in one of the temples, whichever your choice. Do you have a choice? She whispers to you, Thelen. Do you worship any gods here in the city?
No, not yet.
Then any will do. See that she is taken care of. Savvy, you see as they kind of take Thelen by both arms and start to walk her back to the elevator down. They stop and wait if you want to come.
I do. I was actually gonna approach Ash and ask if we could have maybe an hour.
Of course.
Before we come back up to do this super fun investigation, which I'm sure will be super fun. But we have one thing to deliver. Just one.
She keeps a kind of a flat face and says, all right. I will be waiting.
Cool. Hey, y'all. I got the wine.
Oh, I thought, Big Nar would have crushed it, but I'm glad he didn't.
I thought that was a child's body.
No, it's... And then she dances again and sloshes the wine around. Unless it liquefied on the journey, this is totally wine.
That is a bigger jug than they told us it was going to be.
A little bit.
Well, good job.
It's what I'm here for.
Yeah, we totally screwed that one up. We were not even close to finding it.
I mean, we
That's
did
okay.
all right.
You'll do better next time. I promise.
Well, to be fair, again, Disco Inferno around us, and then Big Nar happened, and we went through the ground, and then we got bombarded by crossbow people, and then...
So that was I was right in the room next to all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like this mage person, and they did a thing, but I tried to hit him with one of my one of Big Nar's knives. I don't think it hit, but I tried.
Why do you keep calling him Big Nar?
Oh, so Gragnar is Greg right now, but he becomes Big Nar.
I become an intimidating 6-foot-tall dwarf. Unlike anything you've ever seen.
It's like Brock Lesnar and I'm Poeman. Like it's there.
I didn't even get that reference.
I heard it in a moving picture book.
Ellen is just staring at the retelling of what was happening underneath the ship, just like eyes wide, just like what?
Hmm.
Because she had no idea any of that was going on.
Well, while all of that was happening, I got trapped in the captain's room, it seems like, or the noble guy, whatever. I made a friend who slipped through the porthole. He had some really kind of like oily stuff on him that made him like slip through the porthole. And he was like, "Are you my enemy?" And I was like, "No." And then we had a really, really great time just hiding in that room. And then he went to kill the cook.
I like look at you directly when you say that.
So some oily figures slipped through a window, and then you became pals.
Mm-hmm.
Should we put them on retainer or something?
I mean, if you see him around, don't kill him, maybe. He seemed like he was new to this whole thing. Even though he said he'd killed like 8 people before, but yeah, he went to kill the cook, but Basilisk, you had already done that. So
Yeah, Basilisk 8 seems low, or right? You probably killed 8 yesterday.
Yeah, I wasn't keeping track. I tried, but you keep slipping out like a little slippy thing.
Like an oiled man through a window.
Like an old man through a window.
Like an oiled man through a window.
The Watchblades who are with you balk at all this conversation.
A lady never tells her secrets.
They're just like behind their plate helmets, not trying not to,
Hey,
Side
y'all,
note, shut up.
Sorry. I forgot they were there. Let's go take this wine back, okay?
Oh, I'm fucking dead.
Probably.
Yes, my name is Alexis. Get it right.
That's what I said. That's what I said, Balexis. I said Balexis.
Alexis.
Glare.
Balexis. It's exactly what I said.
Thelen pukes up a little bit of like black blood.
I go over to Thelen. Hey, what's going on?
I thought that they were on their way down the elevator.
I'm assuming all of you are, since you're delivering this package and there's only one elevator. It's a long ride.
I have a 1-track mind.
It's perfectly fine.
How high up are we right now?
100 feet.
Okay, I look super pale and my knees are shaking. Yeah. And I'm like as close to the middle as I can be.
You're like 3/4 of the way down at this point.
Still.
I push you a little bit with my foot.
Wait, are we going up or down?
Down.
Down.
Okay.
Said you wanted to deliver the package first.
Yeah. Yeah, you're fine, Gragnar. Just stay in the middle. Stuck in the middle with you. Yeah, I made that one up too.
So
are the Watchblades like carrying me at this point?
Yeah. As much as you want to lean on them, they can support you.
Well, I'm about to be unconscious, so they should probably be carrying me.
Yeah. So.
And Thelen goes even whiter than she already is and just passes out.
What happened to her?
You all see Thelen. Her head lolls back. She makes a sound like, and then her head lolls forward as she falls unconscious. As soon as the elevator touches down, the Watchblades are off in something of a sprint, carrying Thelen between them, arms over their shoulders. The rest of you can absolutely return back to the Blackbriar estate. And when you arrive there, the door swings open silently, and an Earth Ganassi that you all are familiar with, the major domo of this estate, greets you. You did that rather quickly, they say.
We're efficient, what can I say?
They smile. Aboard the Ember Rose, sailors are patching holes in the ship. They're cleaning blood, scrubbing away char, and putting out small fires that have spread from the conflagration in the hallway. Jerem stares out at the city of Wuhan, shrinking into the distance as they've already set sail towards home, unwilling to stay another moment in the city. In the docks district, two figures, one tall and lean, wearing gleaming armor, the other floating several feet above the ground, with a robe that drapes down to the cobblestones, stare into the city as well. We gotta find him somewhere. Yes, say the two voices. Miles away from there, at the Valhurst estate that you just left behind you, a watchblade turns over part of a crumbled ruin inside of a bedroom in the upper level of the estate. Beneath it, he sees pieces of what is left of the master and mistress of the house, still in their beds, pulled apart, most of them gone. In the background, in the darkness, motion. Deep in the heart of the city, two half-elven women sit at a dining table. A watchblade has already come by and delivered heart-wrenching news. They hold one another, sobbing quietly in the light of a single candle that is half burned away. There's a knock at the door. Thump, thump, tap, tap, tap. The two of them look up, eyes wide and jaws slack. They recoil from the sound, so familiar. There's a thump, thump, thump of feet on the floor as a child runs from the back room of this home and grabs the bolt to the front door. One of the women at the table says, "Halvar, wait!" as this child swings the door open and begins to cry. A woman steps inside and scoops up the little boy and says, "Hello, little one," and plants a kiss on his head, as she's done 100 times before. One of the women, crushing her own mouth at the table with trembling hands, says, "Yolora, the Watchblades came. They said that you died in that explosion." The young girl smiles, bouncing this baby boy on her hip. "What in the abyss are you talking about?" The child reaches up and pulls at her strawberry blonde hair. In the bedroom of the estate, the Watchblade stoops and pulls out a clump of bloody strawberry blonde hair from the ruined, destroyed corpse inside this bedroom. A moment before something reaches from behind him and grabs his face. And that's where we're going to end this session of the Little Rascals. You did it, guys. You did it, everyone. Hello.
We did it.
We got the wine.
You got the wine.
Good job.
Mission accomplished. S's across the board.
What money did we get for that?
We will discuss that next time and let everyone in the chat know as well what you were working so diligently towards. We will pick up with you introducing Lady Blackbriar at the Blackbriar Estate and turning in your quarry. How are we feeling, everybody? Liz, I hope you're okay. I'm so sorry you had to black out. That sucks.
Yeah, it happened.
You did great. You stuck with it, and man, I appreciate that.
Oh boy.
Listen, blacked out of character, blacked out in character. It's all good.
They're going to get you patched up. It may cost a little bit, but you've made some coins, so it should be just fine.
You might have an anonymous benefactor.
I probably should have gone unconscious sooner than that. I started forgetting as we were doing things to keep subtracting the 3, but it's fine.
It's perfectly fine.
That's okay. You were conserving energy, which made you lose life slower.
Thematically, it was perfect. I couldn't have asked you to do it at a better time. Perfect. That was our session. Is everyone doing okay? Do we need any aftercare anywhere? Okay.
No, good. No,
I mean, we laugh at it, but it's really important to me. I like touching base with all the players, make sure everything's okay. We good?
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, all right, everyone. We are going to let you all go. Thank you for coming to session 2 out of the frying pan of our Little Rascals live stream. We're going to run through. People can say where to find them, starting with Critical Bard.
Hey, CB in the house. Critical Bard across all social media channels. You can find me exactly what I just said at Critical Bard. I'm not really doing much this week in particular. Next week some things happen, but just happy to be around, having a good time, enjoying life, one laughable hunk of robot mess at a time.
Specs never fails to entertain the hell out of me. Every scene he's in is perfect.
Like, what? Okay.
Gragnar, Justice, where can people find you? What are you up to?
Gragnar is Justice Armin. I am on Twitter at Justice_Armin. You can also find me and my portfolio at www.norsedm.com until I change my domain name eventually. Gragnar is looking forward to assessing what he feels went wrong and then developing a plan for the next one.
Assess and grow.
Yeah.
Assess and grow. Perfect. Lady Tiefling, my best friend.
That's me, Latia, at the Lady Tiefling across all social medias. If you're gonna we will see each other again before I head there, but if you're gonna be at Winter Fantasy in Indiana, I will also be there, so come see me, come say hi. I love you all.
And don't be shy. If you see her, go say hi. It's so hard to touch base with everybody, but if you just come up, say hi.
Right? So like Winter Fantasy and then C2E2 in at the end of February. So if you are going to be in the area, you can come see me and you come see CB at C2E2 because we're going to be there and I've got some stuff planned.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Liz, how are you doing? Where can people find you?
Oh, hey, you can find me at Raptor Handed everywhere. I do have an Instagram, but there's nothing on it. I'm also not up to anything cool right now because I am sewing and wig styling, and it's a mess. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's be perfectly honest.
But that is awesome. What are you talking about? Sewing and wig styling? I can't do that.
Neither can I. So
that's the first step on the road to being an expert.
Yeah, it's about to be an adventure. So you will not see much of me anywhere other than some weird pictures on my Twitter in the near future.
Definitely follow at Raptor Handed on Twitter. Liz is not super well known in the community yet, but she's a gem. Let's go follow.
And a total trooper for finding some way
total
to stay
trooper. I'm pretty sure at one point you went outside trying to get your phone to work.
I did.
It was so good. Thank you for trying so hard. There were candles, yes.
You guys need to see the picture she put in Discord because it is a testament to how much she wanted to be here.
I will absolutely check it out. Thank you so much, Liz. Gabe.
Hi, I am Gabe James Games on pretty much all social medias. Like the rest of them have said, this was a ride. I have no idea what's happening anymore. There's so much. Basilisk feels a little bad, like half bad. Little petty because you got in the way of what he wanted, but you also almost died, and that wasn't the plan. So
honestly, it was perfect though. I was dying. I'm really glad that nobody can see my face
I knew when you forgot the food when you threw it at her. I'm like, he does not remember.
Oh yeah, because it was just like, you're annoying. Ugh. And then like you get hit in the head and you drop and fall with poison. I'm like,
Murder dish.
shit.
But it was great. And I was your DM at Drop the Die on Twitter, JB in real life. Find me on Twitter. It's where I share almost everything that I work on. And I am working on a good little bit of stuff coming in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned, including the second volume of one of my platinum bestseller PDFs for 5e. So 50 more notice board quests is coming maybe next week or this week, depending. So until next week, same time, same channel, same crew. We will see you later.